Hello! Shoyan here. I'm a carpenter based in Japan. Construction on this house is almost complete, and only exterior work remains. Today, I'm building a Nureen. Alright, to begin, I measure and rough cut the timber. This time, the Nureen is quite long. It's an Orthodox-Shaped Nureen. It might sound strange, but the Nureen and the Wooddeck have similar shapes nowadays, and it's hard to tell them apart. As usual, all the wood is Japanese Cypress. This time, the deckboard's length is 650mm, which is short, so the lumber dealer has provided me with short timber. 3.6 meters long timber is usually cut to make all the deckboards. When short timber is used, there are various straight or cross grain patterns. With many grain patterns, I believe it will be a unique finish. Now, I start planing the timber. The old machine that I'm using now is called a planer. It's commonly called an automatic planer, Jidou Ganna in Japanese. With this machine, you can plane the timber to the exact size you need. A planer is necessary when processing the timber. It's a useful machine. It is rare to find a carpenter doing this work anymore, since large companies specializing in wood processing handle it these days. They process the wood to the exact size for furniture, fittings, and fixture. Instead of using a hand plane to finish, I use an electric plane. Wood can't be finished with a planer alone, because silicone spray has been applied to the timber and still remains on the surface. I plane the surface lightly once with a sharp blade electric planer to finish it. I measure and decide the spacing between the deckboards. It is usually 9mm to 10mm apart. It feels wide if it is more than 12mm apart. Concrete slab dimensions are already set, but the overall length of the Nureen has not yet been determined. By dividing the number of deckboards, I determine the length.
ここからここがデッキの端。ちょうどいいや、コンクリここまで OK。
I'm going to lower the fronts of the deckboards by about 1 centimeter. It improves the drainage on the top surface. To do this, I plane the top surface of the support beam. I draw the size of the deckboards, the overall length, and the joints. Since the overall length is long, I join the support beams. It is not necessary to use a complicated joint, so I use a simple koshikake ari joint. One thing to keep in mind is that water will inevitably get into the joint through the gap and could cause rot. So I hide the joint by placing it under the deck board. Next, I cut the posts. Usually, I decide on the height first and use a butt joint for the post. I cut the mortise and tenons aside since it'll be easier to join it when installing the Nureen. I widely chamfer the tenon's end. The tenon legs will be cut at the site. The concrete slab under the Nureen is soaked, so I will trace the soak on the post and cut it. I widely chamfer the tops of the deck boards. I also widely chamfer the fronts. I have transported the timber to the site. It has been painted and left to dry for a day. First, I install the ledger on the back. It will be secured to the wall with 125mm screws. I attach rubber shims to the screw positions. The shims prevent water from getting into the screw holes, even when water drips from the wall. There will be a space where the shims are not installed, and the water will drain from the wall. I realized something after I placed the ledger. The exterior window sill is quite large this time, so there will be a difference in level between the interior floors. It needs to step down from the room. So I cut the exposed frame around the window shorter and make the Nureen to be higher as possible. I join the beam on the front and temporarily position it. The temporary posts are made of plastic. They can be used like a jack and adjusted in height. It is very useful for determining the height of the post. As mentioned earlier, I'm going to lower the front by about 1 centimeter for water drainage. I measure the slope of the concrete slab and cut the bottoms of the posts. Since mortise and tenon joints are used, joining is easy. On the bottom of each post, I secure a plastic post base. It prevents the post from absorbing water from the ground. I secure the deck boards. I have already cut them to the exact lengths at my workshop. It is challenging to neatly align a lot of the short timber. First, I secure both ends, then stretch a thread. The overall length is about 5.5 meters. I measure the middle using the thread and secure the center deck board. Next, I make a ruler using timber on the front. I first secure the solid timber from below, then place another timber straight on it and attach it to the ends of the deck boards. By aligning the ends of the deck boards to this ruler, I secure them. In this way, the back might have a small misalignment, but it won't be noticeable, as the front will be neatly aligned. To secure the deck boards, I use round head nails on the front and screws on the back. Both are stainless steel. With round head nails, it will be beautifully finished. However, it's not ideal to use nails on the back. The area for nails is small, as the ledger under the deck boards is secured horizontally with screws. It is possible to loosen the screws if two nails are hammered into each deck board from above. As a result of the loosened screws, water could get in and the ledger could drop. To avoid hammering from above, I use screws on the back and use stylish round head nails on the front. On the Japanese channel, we posted a video of nailing a deck. Fortunately, many people watched it, and the most common comment we received was, why is the depth of every two nails different? You can easily find the reason by watching this video. The deep nails are used to secure the deck boards temporarily, and the shallow nails are nailed afterward. Now I have finished installing the long Nureen, connecting two sliding windows. Since it's long, it looks gorgeous and beautiful. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.